Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tarot Juice. So glad you could join me in this one. And in this particular episode, we're going to be looking at the energy forecast for water signs early to mid-June 2021. If you're not aware, Mercury is officially in retrograde. So while this is a general energy forecast for the water signs, we are going to be looking at the tools that we can also apply during this Mercury in retrograde phase, which is all about reflecting and transforming into the next best version of ourselves in accordance to our spiritual growth at this time, of course. The most important things to focus on is the fact that this is a pause period. So really, we talk a lot about Mercury in retrograde being a scary danger zone, when in reality, it gives us time to actually breathe and not be so proactive, but to be more in our feminine, to be more in our observing and our stillness, so that we can scan, we can take in what works, release what doesn't, and that includes our thoughts. And when Mercury retrograde is finally over, we go full force with whatever it is that we sifted through, whatever it is that we decluttered. And we have a much cleaner foundation to move forward with. And like I said, in this one, we're going to be discussing the energy forecasts and the tools that Cancers, Scorpios, and Pisces can plan for and strategize with. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to begin with Cancer, the first water sign in the zodiac cycle. Beautiful, beautiful Cancers. My moon is in Cancer, so, you know, I have maybe a more practical understanding of it than the other two water signs. Cancers. The beautiful thing about Cancer is that they take the experiences and the information that they assimilate in the day-to-day life, and they go into themselves in their safe zones, in their comfort zones, wherever that environment is, and they assimilate that data, and they decide on a spiritual aspect which ones work, which ones don't. So they are extractors of truth based on experience. Very sensitive beings as well. They establish emotional frequencies. Beautiful. So let's see what comes up for our moon children. Alright, well, already I'm getting that a lot of us are staying within. We're keeping a lot of what's going on inside of us. So we are really hermiting during this phase. And perhaps we could benefit a little more from sharing our insights and sharing our thoughts with trusted peers, trusted, family members, trusted friends that can understand and help us analyze all these thoughts that are going through. Again, one thing that happens with Cancers when things start to get a little tough, when things start to get a little tough is staying within the body, right? Keeping everything, hermiting like a crab in their shell, staying within and keeping things within. And unfortunately, that doesn't allow for growth to occur at its most optimum, because we are social beings. And it's not to say that you can't find truths within yourself, because essentially everything that you need exists within your body. But because we're talking about Mercury in retrograde, Mercury is a sign of communication, or the planet of communication. So we could benefit from sharpening our ability to communicate our deepest and most sacred thoughts. And again, being very particular about who we share this with, but making an effort to share this with people. Again, a lot of people love you and care about you, and they cherish your emotional sensitivity. Whether they know that that's what they cherish or not, they cherish how deeply you care and how deeply you nurture and how deeply you love and how deeply you want to see other people grow and see yourself grow. So you have something worthy of saying. You have something worthy of sharing. If you could get yourself out of your silence and share it, please. This is a great time to work on that skill and to hone in on that skill. Trust that what you have to say is worth saying. Here we go. Good stuff, guys. It's funny though, we were just talking about that, and that's a card that just comes up to the Eight of Swords. It's all about limiting yourself in your mind and allowing your thoughts to sort of prison you, when really, essentially, the only thing that is prisoning you is your mental thoughts. It's your word. Wow. Powerful time for manifestation for you as well, if you could get through those humps. Powerful time to manifest, for real. I see a lot of you wanting to embark on a new journey, start a new project, and you really have to get yourselves to, you have to get your emotional frequency up so that you can properly manifest, and we'll talk about that a little bit. All right, let's just stop here. I think we have a good amount to work with. So we begin with the Four of Wands. So there is a lot of cause for celebration for you. You've done a lot in your spiritual journey, whatever that looks like for you, in your journey that aligns with your true path, your truth. And this is, if it hasn't already happened, if there wasn't a celebration already that's happened in the recent past, there is cause for celebration. Okay, so really take the time to celebrate the little accomplishments that you've accomplished, for the lack of a better term, right? It's important. It's very easy for us in our journey to get caught up in the journey and not realize the little things that we accomplish, the simple things that we accomplish throughout the day that are worthy of recognition. There's a lot to recognize in what you've accomplished, Cancer. There's a lot to recognize. You've done a lot of good work, but you're allowing the intensity of the external world to get to your thoughts and to get to your mind, and that's really preventing you from noticing the beauty of your progression. You're at the moment you're attaching yourself too much to the noise and the worry and the anxiety instead of prioritizing your progress, or prioritizing acknowledging your progress. Not that you're not prioritizing your progress, you absolutely are, but you're not prioritizing the recognition of those things. You're prioritizing the recognition of the darker spectrum of emotions, right? We want to stay away from attaching to guilt and embarrassment and shame. Those are very low in the emotional spectrum, and they're not really going to allow you to manifest what you want to manifest. Okay, we have to remember that being a human being, we're playing the frequency game. So no matter what we're showing the world, and no matter what we're trying to prove to other people that we're fine and we're dealing with things, that things are good, our body doesn't lie, our frequency doesn't lie, and that's what's going to bring things about. So really be honest with yourself here, and really tune into the higher frequencies. And ways to do that, the High Priestess is here to help you. Okay, you're receiving a lot of intuitive messages. It's a lot of fertile ground for you. The moon is on your side here too, and it's on your side with another card that's popped up. So really And if you don't know Cancer, the moon is where you are most comfortable. The moon is your powerhouse. The moon is your power planet, okay? So really trust in your intuition. Cancer, that is your advantage here. You have such strong intuition. You know exactly what other people are feeling. You know exactly what you are feeling, and it helps you plan for the future. It helps you plan. So trust your intuition. Your intuition is telling you exactly what you need to know. Don't let yourself be caught up with your negative thoughts. And again, intuition, there's a really important thing here to distinguish between what is intuition and what is emotion that is straying you away, right? We say intuition like trust what you feel. But when you're choosing to trust anxiety, you're not trusting the right thing. Anxiety is a control mechanism, like fear. It's a control mechanism that's taking you away from focusing on the beauty, and the beauty is what brings about what you want. So the intuition here is to detach from anxiety and worry, because worrying is a form of prayer for the worst case scenario to occur. When we worry, we are praying in the worst case scenario, and that's a very important thing to be truthful about and to recognize. It's a responsibility, Cancer, as someone who is so comfortable and so sophisticated with identifying emotions and living in the emotional world, to prioritize those higher frequencies. Or else you're going to be caught in the mud, you're going to be caught in the hell of it, and we don't want that, because we can't manifest there. Or we can, right? Because we're constantly manifesting, but we can't manifest what we want to manifest. We're going to be manifesting the opposite of what we want to manifest. Okay? So you are the high priestess here, or the high priest. You have to trust that you are a channel for those higher messages to come through your crown and into your body. But the only way to access that is to give yourself time to breathe, to settle into your space, whether that be through meditation, whether that be through working out, whether that be through journaling, whether that be through any sort of therapeutic act like arts and crafts, painting, writing poetry. You have to access your creative channels here, because again, if you don't, that potential energy is going to implode within you, right? You have a lot of energy, and that energy needs to be used creatively. So any sort of creation, and it doesn't have to be so artsy, right? Like I said, it can be anything that you use as a very conscious stream of channeling. But it has to be conscious and deliberate. You can't just wait around. You have to do anything. Do something. Do something with yourself. Do something to create. Do something to work on a skill. This is going to help you use up all of that intense energy you have inside of you, and it's going to help that emotion and the spectrum of your emotions rise up to the higher ones, which is joy and love, pride, enlightenment. Share what you have with you through your creativity. It's going to help you a lot here, and it's going to help you plan for the future. Okay, the Two of Wands shows up here. Powerful. You're generating a lot of ideas, and you're generating a lot of ideas that are in line with what you want to create. Okay, so use this Mercury in retrograde period to really figure out what you want. You see those mountains in the distance there? That's what you want. Those are the goals that you want to accomplish, and you might have a vague idea of what that is right now, but it's time to get specific. It's time to get specific, so you know what the journey looks like to get there, so you know how to cross the bridge. And you have to trust in your intuition again to lead you there, because it wants you to get there. And it's a step-by-step process, okay? The moon lights the way through the darkness, but we can't see through the fog of darkness in the wider sense. We can only see through the fog of darkness in what's immediately in front of us. The step-by-step process. So really prioritize focusing on your accomplishments and everything that you've achieved, what small or big, it doesn't really matter. Everything that you've achieved, make it a point to write a list of everything that you've achieved every day, and how grateful you are for yourself. Build a repertoire with yourself, a love repertoire with yourself, a positive conversation with yourself in your mind, of how proud you are of yourself for where you have reached thus far. And let that guide your next steps forward, instead of worrying about how all the different ways that things could go wrong, or all of the ways that you might think that people aren't particularly happy with you with, or they're not particularly proud of you. Like, just, you have to just, all of that is just whispers that we want to keep away from our field, okay? And by the end of Mercury in retrograde, you're really going to be in a place. The Nine of Chalices, what a beautiful card to show up in a reading, especially for you, okay? You're going to be in a place where manifestation, or at least I should say not manifestation, but like positive manifestation, is going to really be fast for you, because you're going to be in a place of joy. You're going to be in a place of just deep appreciation for life and the journey that you've gone through. And that's going to help you manifest your dream project, your dream career, your dream opportunity, that person that you are looking for. If you're looking for a romantic partner, if you're just looking for a deeper sense of self, you're going to manifest that so quickly. So that's something that you can really look forward to here, Cancer. Okay, so in summary, you're going to want to prioritize all of your accomplishments, small or big, doesn't matter. You prioritize your progress and the positive progress that you've been making. You're going to have yourself revert back to focusing on anxiety and fear and worry, but that's only because these emotions want to leave your system. So don't give them new life by acting upon those feelings, okay, or being stuck or rooted in those feelings and introverting within. No. We want to honor those feelings when they come up, and we want to tell those feelings that they are no longer a part of who we are becoming. And we want to thank them and honor them for showing up. And we give them a way of release through creative output, through anything that we can do that is creating something of substance outside of our body, whether that be arts and crafts of any sort, writing, singing, dancing, working out, anything. Create something with your body. Use up the potential energy inside of you. Make it kinetic. Make it move, okay? That's really going to help you here. And it's going to help you plan and really get specific with your goals. And finally, you're going to reach a point in the end of the retrograde period where you're going to be able to manifest things so quickly that by the time retrograde is done, you're full throttle. You're going for it. You're proactive in what you want. It's a beautiful journey. I'm so excited for you, fellow Cancerians, fellow moon children. That's all I got for you right now. That is, let's see if an oracle wants to pop up for you too. I'm only going to shuffle this a few more times because I feel like we already covered all of our bases. We don't need anything else to... Nah, we got nothing here. All right, Cancers, that's it. Be God, be merry, go create, go love, go share your intimate thoughts with those you trust and care about. And we'll see what happens with you after retrograde is over, okay? Tune in about 2 or 3 weeks for that next reading. Blessings to you all. We are now moving to beautiful Scorpio. Now, there is one thing that I would love to touch on with Scorpio before we get into Mercury in retrograde and all the tools that we need to look at, is that we forget that Scorpio has 2 symbols. You're not just a scorpion, but you're the eagle too. And this is not discussed very often, and it scares me because a lot of Scorpios tend to only identify with a scorpion, and the scorpion is all about, okay, let me just explain this, okay? The scorpion is one of the only animals that are able to sting itself and die. So essentially, the scorpion is the symbol of the material self, the human body, the physical self. And it's through the overcoming of the physical self that the scorpion, when it dies through its own sting, which is the intensity of its emotions and the intensity of overcoming its physical desires, it dies and it becomes the eagle. And it sort of hovers over in the upper planes, it hovers over the human experience as someone who has ascended, and someone who now sees the bigger picture, and someone who is enlightened, right? Which is so beautiful. But you have to go through the death of your ego that is aligned with survival to achieve an ego that is aligned with abundance and seeing the bigger picture. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of you beautiful, beautiful, delicate Scorpios get caught up in the intensity and the depth of your emotions. You guys have deep emotions. Deep, deep, deep. And it's such a beautiful thing, but it could also be tragic if that's all we attach ourselves to. So remember that. You're not just the scorpion, you're the eagle too. And we want to get through that process of transformation from the attaching ourselves to our physical desires and our emotions into seeing the bigger picture of it all and understanding that your emotions are your biggest tool and your biggest advantage here. Okay? That's why Scorpios are given the Phoenix complex. You have to reduce yourself to your purest ashes. And Mercury in retrograde, which is all about that cocoon phase, is the perfect time for you to transform from the scorpion to the eagle. So make that your biggest priority here. Is if you're getting caught up in your emotional rut, it is only because your emotions are trying to teach you lessons here. We don't want to project them out into reality. We really want to become the surgeons of our own emotional minds. Come on. Again, there is this reluctance here. There is this hesitance to share, right? Share. And trust that you have things to share. I'm really trying to get you out of the muck here. Really trying to get you out of the muck. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Here you go. Here we go. Wow. This is an intense journey. It's an intense journey for you guys. I'm not gonna lie. It's intense and it has a lot of energy. But you're digging out a lot of treasures here. If you can just allow yourself, and if you can just allow yourself to surrender to all the changes that are happening to you right now, because there are a lot of changes occurring, and it can seem really scary. Okay. It can seem really scary, but you have to tap into the to the father aspect within yourself, if that makes sense. You have to parent yourself. You have to discipline yourself. You have to give yourself tough love. Right now, it's not the nurturing love that you need. It's the tough love that you need. Okay? You need to really establish your boundaries. You need to really establish the laws that you're working with in the physical realm, okay? Things won't go away because you avoid them. Matters won't go away if you just ignore them. That just won't happen. You have to face them head on, no matter how gritty it feels, no matter how nasty it feels. We're just gonna stick with these cards, no matter how intense it feels, okay? So the basis of what you're going through in Mercury in retrograde is housed in the Emperor. Beautiful, beautiful, masculine energy, really strong masculine forces are at play with you here. All right, and these masculine forces are really trying to teach you to father yourself, okay? To be proactive in what needs to be addressed, what needs to be attended to. There are matters that need to be attended to in your life, okay? And a lot of things are shifting around for you. And this comes from the Tower, okay? And the things that are being shifted around for you are not necessarily of your doing. It is the universe pulling strings for you and shifting a lot of things out for you. And there are a lot of things in your life that perhaps you thought was working, but now you're getting a really hard slap in the face that, okay, these things that I thought were working out for me were not based on truth. We're not based on a strong, sturdy foundation. And they need to go away. They need to go away because they're not helping you. I'm seeing a lot of perhaps people leaving your life that are not in alignment with who you're trying to become, and they weren't necessarily being truthful with you. Maybe not everybody, but I'm definitely seeing some sort of deceptive energy that's leaving your life. And it's up to you as the emperor of your life, right? The emperor card, to declutter your environment from these people. You don't want deceptive energies in your empire. That's not going to help your empire grow. You don't want a Caesar complex where you think you have all of these people that are on your side and then suddenly they're stabbing you in the back. We don't want that. But you have to trust your intuition here. You have to trust it. Okay? Really look at who's in your life and really decide who needs to go and who needs to stay. Okay? That's your responsibility here. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm feeling. You got to be the parent. And you also got to surrender to the shift of the tides. You have to surrender or you're going to be overwhelmed by all these changes, okay? Remember, when new people are introduced into our life, it's because they are guides and mentors that help us move on to the new phases, okay? We don't want to continue attaching ourselves with the people that we're most comfortable with and we're most familiar with just because of the emotional comfort that they might provide for us. Because again, we want to expand our horizons. We want to go away from what feels comfortable, because the darkness is what allows us to grow the most. That the darkness has the most potential. The void has the most potential for creation. So Scorpios, do your best to declutter your life from energies that don't necessarily suit you, and please listen to your intuition here. And once you do that, once you finally get to that point, boy, does the world and the universe have a lot of gifts to share with you, because you will finally have that space to tend to the right things, to the proper things, and suddenly you're going to see a lot of beauty in your life. And you're going to see a lot of opportunities come up for you because you finally have space to deal with these things, to think about them, okay? Notice the source of energy that this Page of Pentacles is finding. Notice the abundance all around. Notice how we go from really sort of, I would say, dimmer colors and dimmer atmospheres and intense atmospheres into one that is bright, one that is light, one where our solar plexus is finally healing, and we're allowing ourselves to have a little bit more fun, and we're allowing ourselves to be a little more playful and productive with the things that really allow our inner light to shine forward, okay? This is what we want to focus on here. The light is coming up for you, but it can only come up for you if you give yourself the space to let go of what is no longer working for you. And you already know what is no longer working for you. But the hardest thing to let go of those, whatever that is, it's not working out for you, is letting go of the familiarity and the attachment that comes with it, okay? But remember, the only constant in life is change, That is the only constant. You have to surrender to the change. You have to surrender to the flow. And you have to allow yourself to also be comfortable with being that soul emperor, empress, that soul ruler. And it can get lonely sometimes, but remember, alone is just another word for all one. When we're alone, we can finally have conversations with the subtle energies. We could finally have a conversation with all fragments of ourselves, all aspects of ourselves. That is where we find the treasure, deep within ourselves. That is where you find your purest ashes and you rise again like the phoenix that you are. But you can't do that when you're distracted with things that are there just from mere distractions, that are not actually feeding you anything, that are not in a reciprocative relationship with you, okay? Remember, this Mercury in retrograde phase, we're in summary mode now. This Mercury in retrograde phase for you is all about reassessing the empire of your life, reassessing what is working in this empire and what isn't, really being the father for yourself, okay? Masculine energies are really trying to connect with you here so that you can take hold of your life again and take control of your life again. And that can only happen with inner work. And these energies are also forcing a lot of changes for you because they're trying to get rid of rocky foundations that aren't working, that were working out of comfort but aren't really working with the alignment and the path that you're truthfully looking for. And all of that is going to help you rediscover the gifts, the talents, the opportunities, the beauty that is all around you and all within you. It's going to help you refocus that lens. And you're finally going to be able to see what it is that you need to go head on with and full force with. Because the universe will be sending you rewards after this really intense flushing. Okay? That's what I got for you, Scorpios. So really work on it, really push through. It's a time of beautiful major transition and transformation for you. Really tune into your Phoenix rising. Really tune into your Phoenix rising. You're a Phoenix that is rising. Allow yourself to reduce, to be born once again. Transformation is your birthright. And the oracle that we have for you, lo and behold, is built. So your tower, whatever comfort zone that you had, is going to crumble so that you can rebuild on a stronger, more sturdy, and more truthful foundation. And you have to remember and trust that this is for your benefit. This is for your greatest good. And there's no punishment here. The energies are trying to make room for you. So take your time and take some time to honor these energies, however way you want to do that, and to reconnect with these energies and to reconnect with all fragments of yourself, okay? This is a time of major building for you. Major building. Declutter to build. Make room, make space to build. I'm going to leave it there, okay? As much as I want to share a lot more with you, that's all we have right now for you beautiful Scorpios during this Mercury in retrograde period. And now to my beautiful fishies, to the Pisceans, to the most spiritual of the spiritual, to the dreamers, to the ones who swim to the depths, travel through multiple dimensions at once, who know how to integrate fantasy with reality to create the most exquisite and beautiful and artistic art. I'm getting art. Make sure you're creating during this powerful period. You have to innovate and you have to create, or else that energy is going to implode within you. Or you'll get stuck in only creating in your mind, and it's going to be an escape mechanism rather than an integration, if that makes sense. So if you don't allow yourself to create, Piscean, whatever it is that you're or if you don't allow yourself to create tangibly, to create something outside of your body that you can see physically, and that includes writing, okay, that includes journaling. If you don't allow yourself to do that, all of that is going to get caught up in your mind, and you're going to be escaping a lot, and you really won't be able to tell between fantasy and reality. And we want to avoid that, okay? We want to make sure that we're grounded. And the only way to get grounded here is to create. That's the biggest thing I have for you right now, is really use up your time in the next 2 to 3 weeks to understand that you're receiving a lot of creative impulses. You're receiving a lot of creative, intuitive information, because God, the one, your creator, source, wants you to do as source does and create. You have such a powerful channel of creation, and the world needs your creation. The world needs your innovative way of seeing reality and your perspective. The world needs it. We're so lost and caught up in misery and in the lower frequencies right now with everything that's happening. I don't even need to explain that. I think we all know how chaotic life is right now in the external, that we need the blessing and the grace and the beauty of your creations, Pisceans. Not only is it a proper therapeutic tool for you, but it is a divine duty and responsibility for you to grace us with your creativity. Okay? Oh, beautiful 2 of Wands. We're planning here. We're in the brainstorming phase. We're in the planning phase for our projects, for whatever it is that we're embarking to do. And lo and behold, creating helps you put your brainstorming process into full effect. It really helps you tap into what you need to tap into to properly manifest. Okay. Wow. Beautiful. So I touched a little bit on the 2 of Wands. You're planning, you're embarking on a new journey. You know the goals that you're looking at. You know what it is that you want to accomplish. It's more just about how to get there, right? Remember, we're trying to stay away from instant satisfaction here and instant growth. That is not a reality. As much as we want that to be a reality, as much as the internet and social media try to convince us that is a reality, this is not a reality here. And we have balance restoring itself, okay? The Justice card has come up. The Justice card. Balance has restored itself for you. What goes around comes around, and it's come around, whether it was painful, whether you felt vindictive, whether you felt like people got what they deserved. Karma has been delivered. So now it's time to put our need for, I have to say it, okay? It's time to put our need for revenge, for whatever, that feeling of, oh, I hope people get what they deserve because you've been mistreated. It's time to put that aside now, because that's not, it's not productive energy. We want to be, again, even if you feel that way, or even if you don't feel that way, but it's sort of like a feeling of just, you really want to get what you deserve because you know what it is that you put out into the world, the only way to get that is through creating. Okay, that's the best way for you. It's the most productive and the quickest way for you. Okay, so you have to trust in this here, in the Nine of Pentacles energy. Beautiful, beautiful energy, Piscean energy. Okay, the Nine of Pentacles is rooted in Piscean energy. You have to remember that abundance is all around you. And it's all around you because you yourself have created it. No one else has created it for you but you. You are totally independent. Your energy is totally independent, and it's bringing about a lot of the things that you're looking for in reality. So you have to trust yourself to always depend on that energy. Don't look for other energies. If you're looking for a romantic partnership, for example, don't depend on that. That person has nothing to give you. Okay, right now you have everything you need to give you, and the need for another person is just an illusion, specifically in this Mercury to retrograde period. This need for someone else is merely an illusion and a distraction. Your Kundalini energy is rising. For those of you who don't know what Kundalini energy is, it's the creative, fiery energy that lives in the base of your spine, that travels through all of your chakras to finally be released out of your crown. And it is the creative energy that I keep referring to that is hungry to be expressed. And that is going to maintain the abundance that is all around you. You have to create here. Don't let your mind fool you. Subdue your mind. Subdue the negative thoughts. Subdue the ego that is aligned with survival. It is not working out for you to attach yourself to those emotions. It's not. Okay, look. Be the queen. Go within yourself. You have to use your words and your thoughts within yourself to heal yourself. You have to deliberately and willfully and intentionally transmute the conversations in your mind from the distractive, negative thoughts into its positive counterparts. And the only way to do that is through tangible, creative expression. Your biggest tool here is going to be journaling, aside from the other creative outputs, such as, sculpting, drawing, sketching, gardening, singing, dancing. Creating of any kind of sort is going to help you distinguish from the fantasy and distractions of the negative thoughts. And it's going to help you really project out the beauty and the positivity and the creativity of the universe that wants to find its way out of your body. Remember, we are not separate of our creator. You are not separate of your creator, Piscean. The creator lives inside of you, and the creator wants to create through you. And the creator is giving you impulses and ideas to create. So make sure that you do that, okay? Stay away from distracted, vindictive thoughts, please. And continue to work on your craft here, okay? Be like the Virgo and be a perfectionist and attend to all the details of your art form or your work. Whatever work that is. Depend on your work here to get you through this period. And trust that at the end of this period, your work is going to bloom. Your work is going to grow and thrive because you've given it all that juicy, creative energy. The channels of creativity will be flowing, and you're going to be in line with it. And it is your responsibility here to continue projecting your creativity into the world. It's the biggest lesson here. You have to remember your independence. You have to remember that the spiritual and the successful path can be a lonely one, but it's only lonely because it's lonely in the physical, but the subtle energies are all around you. Your guides are all around you. The Creator is in you and all around you, and therefore you can't be alone. It's impossible to be alone. It seems that way, but that is an illusion. You're yearning for a physical counterpart when your true counterpart is your Creator. Your true counterpart is your Creator. That is the true divine union that you are seeking. And please prioritize that. Please make that your priority during this Mercury in retrograde, is to reunite with your other half within you, which is your Creator. Okay? Please. And tap into the divine masculine within you through proactive creation. That is your biggest asset and your biggest tool here, Pisces. So, just in summary, you've embarked on a new journey. You're in the planning phase and in the early stages of a new project, a new whatever it is that you're working on. Okay, it's in the beginning phases. But what's distracting you right now, perhaps emotionally, is the karmic deliverance of things. Is you want people to feel what they deserve to feel, and you want to get what you deserve to get, because you know who you are, and you know how good you are, and how friendly you are, and how giving you are, and how attentive you are, and you really want to get what you deserve, and you will get it if you remember that you are an independent energy, and that the only energy that you need to align with is the divine within you, is the divine union within you, and not a physical union outside of you, but the divine union within you. And that's going to help you create as the Creator does. It's going to help you subdue the negativity in you, and the creativity is going to help you transmute those negative emotions and help them rise up the emotional spectrum, so that by the end of the Mercury in retrograde period, you are going to be so consistent with your work that the rewards are going to be abundant and ever-flowing. Okay? Please prioritize that. Let's see if an oracle wants to show up for you. I have a feeling that there is one. Let's see if my feeling is correct. Merp. Two of them. Mystery, which is the ghost pipe, and subdue, which is the salal. Beautiful. Again, I think this really affirms what we were talking about here. There's a great mystery inside of you that is begging to be expressed through creative output, through creative, tangible work. And it is through the subduing of your negative thoughts that you're going to, and subduing your creative channels, that you are going to be able to bring this about. Okay, Pisces? Please, for your own sake, do this. It's going to be beautiful. This beautiful creative energy, creative journey that you're going through. This remembering of your independence, this remembering that you are all you need, and that no one else can match what you give, and waiting around for this mystery person is a waste of your time, and it's subduing you. Use that mystery to tap into the greater mystery of the universe, and willfully subdue your yearnings and your desires, and put that into your creative work. Please, that's gonna provide the biggest reward for you. Okay, we're gonna leave it there, Pisces. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really wish you all a blessed, blessed, blessed journey through this Mercury in retrograde. There's a lot of deep growth waiting for all of you water signs. And remember, this period is all about transformation. It's all about transforming. And for you all, the biggest asset you have is climbing that emotional ladder from the lower frequencies up into the high. So thank you all once again for tuning in, for sharing your energy with me and allowing me to share my energy with you. I'm so grateful for this receptive relationship that we're building. And please consider the tools that I offer you. They will allow you to transform in a way that is most aligned with your spiritual growth at this time. And please tune in after Mercury in retrograde is over for another energy forecast to see what is waiting for you after this period is done. Thank you all and blessings on this journey. Take care, everybody.